Welcome, everyone, to a Delco Nerd Network Rewind review, where we like to sit down and talk about some of our favorite film franchises of the past. On this season, we're talking about the RoboCop franchise, if you will, getting along to RoboCop 3. I think, we can all agree that these kind of decline in the way of how they go up, sadly. It's like 1, 2, 3, and then the quality just goes down. But anyways, I'm excited to talk about it. Joining me, as always, is Mr. Anthony, the Gooch Ragucci. Welcome, Gooch. How you doing?
I wouldn't buy this for $1.
No, I wouldn't. You're getting ahead of yourself, Gooch.
Which is fucked because I thought of saying that before I saw the line in the remake,
like, oh, man.
so it kind of ruined it.
It kind of did.
But I was like, wow, he said it.
Yeah. It's
Crazy.
good. It's good. And, of course, welcoming back Evan Moore. How you doing, sir?
I'll buy that for $1.
All right.
Which is the screw up of the line in 3. So I don't know. I had a better intro, but that's what I'm going with.
No,
so
I like it.
I'll buy that for $1.
But guys, we're here. We're ready to talk RoboCop 3. Like I said, this is probably the lowest point of this original trilogy. But let's just get into it. No, it's probably, I would say. It's not a definite. No.
Listen, it's either between this or the first one or the worst two.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
We'll
easily.
commiserate. We'll talk.
But initially released April 18th, 1993, with a production budget of $22 million, an opening weekend of $4.3 million, and a worldwide box office of $47 million.
Wow. Really didn't make that money.
It kind of went like even, I guess, if
Yeah.
you think about it from the class. Like you assume double the marketing budget, but I don't even know how much they marketed this because it was kind of weird lead up to it.
It does feel like a direct-to-DVD sequel.
Feels like a
and
TV
it's
movie.
in that time period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Directed by Fred Decker, written by Edward Neumeier, Michael Miner, and Frank Miller.
Frankie M. He's
Frankie
back.
M. Description. RoboCop saves the day once more. This time, the half-man, half-robot takes on ruthless developers who want to evict them from quote-unquote their land. Yeah. So I don't know if the there is in reference to the company's land or the people's land.
Which side are you
Who's
taking?
there?
Where are you going with
where's,
there?
Where's Billy Eilish?
I don't know, but by the way,
All these people who live in their own homes.
those bastards. But
Yes.
yeah, guys, let's get into it. Obviously, this, like I said, this is widely regarded, and rightfully so, as the lowest point in this trilogy. I was going into this expecting utter dog shit, to be honest. And I got, it wasn't that bad for me.
It's not. It's just it's like the biggest nothing burger you can imagine.
You texted us that, and because I went in, first off, I don't think I've ever seen this movie from front to back. I've seen a lot of clips of it. I've read a lot of articles about it. I've seen a lot of videos about, why it's so bad. And I feel like it was kind of hyped up to be like this giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
And it is, but also it's like inoffensive, and it's just kind of like, it's like, I kind of forget it already, and it doesn't really matter, and it's like, whatever.
We're retreading a lot of the same ground again, but then not also. And then I think, what's his name? John Burke, who plays, Robo in this one. There is like, listen, it's an insurmountable task.
Yeah.
Especially when you're inserting him right into the same
literal
exact
suit from 2, which they repainted back to gray.
So it's actually, funnily enough, that's a suit from RoboCop 2 that they made for RoboCop 2 and didn't end up using.
Okay.
But it's just funny to think, like, they just were like, yeah, we just got to get it done. I kind of lost my train of thought there. But
it feels wrong.
It does.
Yeah.
And then he feels uncanny in it almost.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't
I
feel
also
quite
don't feel
right.
like they needed to do the scene where they blew him up to like explain why his face is different. I know that was added and shot later.
So it's funny because it said that, and I didn't even realize that was the point of that
and
scene.
it's like, he gets at the very beginning, like his
When he gets
first
lit on
mission,
fire.
he gets lit on fire, and then they take off his helmet, like, oh wow, we had to reconstruct his face. I'm like,
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't
because
either.
it's so subtle and unnecessary. Like, this is a thing that is a more modern Hollywood thing. I'm surprised to see it here that I can't stand. Like when Edward
explanation of the
right, I
recast.
don't really care if you get the recast. Just recast the role and pretend like it's the same character. I don't need like an explanation. Like when Edward Norton was recast, Mark Ruffalo recast Edward Norton as the Incredible Hulk. There wasn't like a 20-minute scene about like how his face changed through an experiment.
Dr. Banner, you look different.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. I shaved. Like, I don't do that.
And
Just,
it's
a
funny.
recast. It's a recast. Just
And
go
it's
for
funny
it.
because that almost makes you feel like the studio doesn't trust you enough to understand what's happening.
Well, you know who they did it with? Rhodey.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that when he's like, I'm here, I'm going to do it, whatever, or something like that, right?
His first scene back in Iron Man 2.
I just don't love when you call out a recast. I feel like again, it insults the intelligence of the audience.
I agree
where
with
it's
you.
like, oh, the audience is not going to understand why RoboCop's face looks different. I'm like, it's a different actor. They
Also-
couldn't get Peter Weller. Oh, Peter Weller wanted to do it, but he was doing Naked Lunch instead.
Yeah, so, and I do think honestly, John Burke, when I was younger, I don't think, aside from the voice being different,
Which
I
is
was
so
actually,
distracting.
That was the most uncanny thing for me.
The voice, the movements, he just isn't Peter Weller.
And you can
it's
also
hard
tell,
to
like-
be like, take it seriously. And that's why it feels like the direct-to-DVD.
Yes,
Because
and
it's like, we're getting like the third best thing.
It's kind of cool though, because like John Robert Burke,
yeah.
There's a couple of moments where he kind of does his own thing with it, right?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
couple of like he's on the ground and he's doing this. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But man, when he's walking, and you're just like, that's a dude in a costume.
Yeah.
Like and we'll get to the remake too, which I also feel like, but like there's no one who could play RoboCop other than Peter Weller. Period.
Well,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Like everyone else is just a man in a robot suit. Peter Weller is RoboCop.
And I think for me, it's like, especially like, they try to do the exact same characterization. The thing, and we'll get into it in the reboot, that I at least appreciate with the new one is like, he is just still Alex Murphy and he is playing himself still. Whereas this, he needs to play the Peter Weller, Alex Murphy RoboCop. And you just feel that uncanniness come through, I feel like, even more. And that just doesn't help. And you know what? I don't blame John Burke. I think he's doing the best he can with what he has.
I think the best he could, because it was a short timeline. I know they shot this right after the second one. They sat on it for a couple of years.
And they really kind of, a big part of casting for this was the body proportions too.
Yeah.
Like, and that wasn't the only reason he was cast, but that was a big reason he could
I'm
fit
not
the suit.
mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I don't look at him and go, oh, fuck this guy.
Right.
Peter
It's a
Weller's
job
role.
at the end of the day.
He showed up. He did the best he could. He's fine.
Right.
But
It's just
I never buy him as RoboCop.
And it's just an insurmountable task, I think, truly.
You
Like,
mentioned this movie not being offensive. There's one thing in this movie I find offensive.
Okay.
Killing Lewis.
That was,
I thought, I was like, I don't
I feel
know.
like the
What's the
way they
point
did it
of
is
that?
more
I just
offensive
felt
than
like
killing her.
it's
itself.
crazy how many plot points, characters, a lot of returning characters.
the returning actors between all three. It was like Michael
Chief is
Gough
there.
in the Batman
Yeah.
89 movies, where it's like you have the same Commissioner Gordon and the same Alfred, but the movies are so dramatically
Different,
different. You're like,
yeah.
are these in the same universe? But it's the same characters,
Yeah.
same actors. It's got this weird,
Yeah.
like, oh, it is a little more
disconnect.
connected, but
Yeah.
it's disconnected from tone and style. But the story's more connected to the first two than I thought
and
it would
the
be.
Delta City thing
Finally
back.
comes to
Not that
fruition.
I feel like it ever really left.
I was gonna
Right.
say, that was one of my notes. I remember it was like, we're doing the Delta City thing again.
the world feels the same. Like,
It doesn't feel like it's really moved on.
Like we still
Yeah.
we have the same sets. We're in the same buildings. We're in the same places with the same characters. And there's new characters, and there's like a resistance, which I think really takes away from like what
lot
they were
of that,
trying to do.
Is
and
pulled
like
from his original script too. When I
Oh,
went
is
to,
this
yeah.
is a lot of this what he wanted to do for RoboCop
Some of it
2?
is like that element is
like the goofy resistance character, and then
The
the
kid.
family with the girl who's like she's like a tech genius.
Okay,
and
why would that girl have a RoboCop action figure? Like, and it's a cool RoboCop action
because she
figure.
lives
By
in
the
this,
way-
she worships RoboCop.
And I think that in and of itself is emblematic of why this movie is the way it is.
For kids.
For like, Orion saw that.
There's the kid character
For some reason, kids got a hold of RoboCop 1 and 2, apparently. I was reading online, and they were like, oh, like, this seems to be really popular with kids. Like, we should make this more geared
But
towards
that's
children to sell.
literally
And it's
what the first movie is making fun of. Like, the first movie is like, it's an action robotic cop. Like, that's the satire, that's the joke. To literally go, oh, wow, he actually sells a lot of toys.
The
It's
news
like,
people
Right.
come back. Like, that satire is there, but like
But
the
it's
scenes
the
don't
tone is
hit
wrong.
as hard.
It's toothless.
Yeah.
Right.
It's toothless and
yeah,
bloodless. Like,
yeah.
that's, I think, where the issue. I think if
There's
you.
like one violent scene. and,
if
like,
you
that's
put the
it.
full on.
PG-13.
Yeah, and if you put the full on violence back in this movie, I think it's like a 20% better movie for me
maybe.
to a degree. Like, I would have at least a bit more fun with it in those action scenes.
Oh.
But it is just so kind of like he's just shooting people. You don't see much is happening. He's getting fucked up a lot in this, I feel like.
I wrote
but
down.
that was really the big thing.
I wrote down, it's not so bad it's good, it's just so bad it's bad. Like,
Yeah,
that was the
yeah.
last thing I wrote in my notes of RoboCop 3. Like, I wanted this to be like a schlock fest that we could laugh at and go, dude, how crazy was it when this? And there's moments like that.
I was going to say.
But we'll get to the ninja robots.
Oh my god, that felt really like.
Did you realize he was a
cyber-
robot?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't. 'cause
It
I I assumed
it was very cyberpunky, like very like.
There's
I'm
actually
like,
a couple shots with the robots I really like though.
Oh,
So this is
I
where
that's what I
didn't
mean.
like
That's
the
like-
Robot Ninja
with the
at
jaw
all.
when he adjusts that jaw. I was like, ew, that's weird. I like that.
Again,
okay.
there are points in here where I'm like, oh man, I can see where this could have been a little bit, like it could have just been better. And like even that moment when the guy tries to rob the coffee shop, the guy from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, and
Yeah,
the guy,
oh, yeah,
and he
that is
pulls
right.
out the gun, and he's like, and he
guy
gives
from
him a
Pirates
good
of the
one
Caribbean.
line.
Parlay.
He's one of the dudes on the
Yeah,
boat.
the
Yeah,
bald
dude.
dude. Yeah.
This movie
It's
is
stacked.
John
It's
Goodman's in
stacked.
it.
What?
There's a scene at the end when they're all like they cut to like I don't know, they're all watching the TV while someone's doing the broadcast, the illegal broadcast, and he's in the diner. He's in a like it's young John Goodman. He
That's
doesn't say a word, and I was like,
crazy.
is that actually John
we have
Goodman?
two dodgeball.
Yes.
Not alum. They're not alum yet.
Rip
Torn.
Torn
Rip
playing
Torn,
this
I
app.
forgot Rip Torn.
Dude, Rip Torn plays this like the new CEO of Omnicorp.
A very confusing character.
But he's just kind of like, I don't really care about any of this because I'm Rip Torn. So like that's how the character comes off, and it's great. I love Rip
Evan,
Torn.
you used the wrong company. It's Omnicorp in the remake. It's OCP. still.
OCP, you're right. Sorry,
Which is
it's still
crazy
OCP.
change,
Yeah,
which is
I'm sorry, I
crazy
was
change.
That is
literally
so
I
funny.
just
It's
watched
okay.
the remake last
But yeah,
night.
and then the other dude from Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, so
CCH
Pounder.
Pounder is in this
do you know who
movie.
she is?
I think so.
was
She's
an
Amanda
NCIS.
Waller in the
Yeah.
Oh,
animated
yes,
series.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, like she has the strangest name ever because it's like her initials like just
Yeah.
abbreviated,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that's
Isn't
CCH
that
Pounder.
Stephen Root from I think was in Dodgeball, right? And
Yes.
he's known as the voice of Bill on
Is
King
that
of
the-
Que-
was that the
King of
driver at the
Hill.
beginning, like the mechanic
No, he's
guy?
like the guy who at the end like
He
sells
plays Bill
everyone-
on King of the Hill, dude.
He's Bill on King of the
Holy
Hill.
shit.
And he's the what's his face in Office Space too. Oh, you took my stapler. I'm gonna burn the building down. Like that's that's him.
Have you guys watched Malcolm in the Middle?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's his the brother who's in like the stay away military camp?
Oh,
The,
that's
like,
what's his Francis.
He's not in it, but like the general who he hates and he has a rivalry with. That's
Yes.
the guy who's he's like the mechanic
who's also a Seinfeld alum.
Yes, yeah.
He plays George's boss in the last season of Seinfeld, where George Costanza has to like airbrush himself out of the photo and like airbrush the guy back. He goes,
Yeah.
"You've really lost a lot of hair." Like that. I'm like watching this movie. I'm like, holy shit, it's that guy. It's that guy.
It's
It's
just
that
like
guy.
all these like '90s alums.
But
Right, very
like
much.
solid B tier, and I don't mean that disrespectfully,
No.
but like solid like B list celebrities who I
Right.
really like.
you recognize.
I recognize are
Yeah.
in this movie, and they're not bad.
But
No.
they just do nothing. Like the
Right.
whole Resistance crew, I was like, when the girl shows up, I'm like,
The
oh,
doctor,
so
yeah.
she's gonna be the main character. Like I like you. I
Like
didn't
who
watch
is
this-
even the main character in this movie? It's not
Robo
Robo.
It was
doesn't show
Lewis
up
for a
20
little bit.
It kind of is,
And
and then
Lewis.
it kind of swaps to Robo.
It's crazy how RoboCop shows up like 30 minutes in.
I counted. It's so you don't see his face until 25. You see his hand at 20 minutes when he's like driving in the car, and he's like, and like that whole lead up scene takes like 4 to 5
and
minutes.
it really felt like they felt like they needed to reintroduce him.
Yeah.
and,
It's like-
and it's because of the casting.
But
clearly.
again,
We've
I
already
don't
done
feel
it,
the
so.
need to do that. There's a line at some point in this where the guy's yelling, it's like, this thing's just a machine. How could it dream and have feelings? I'm like, what was the point of the first movie? Like, how are we back again to
Right.
this regression?
It's
Even at
very-
the end of the
it's-
second movie, he goes through a whole arc.
It's very reductive.
By the way, even
Yeah,
though-
every time it just resets and he's RoboCop again. I'm like, oh, come on.
God damn it!
well, and even I was reading about the director Decker, and he was talking about trying to make this. And I kind of feel for the guy because it does seem like it was like a tough process. And he was like, well, we're at this point where we kind of did everything we needed to do emotionally with the character in the first movie. So now it just feels like all we can do is blow up bad guys. But I don't know if I
Which
necessarily
kind of felt like the point of the movie.
even the
just
second
an
one is
action
just the
movie.
first one again, like
Right.
we've mentioned before.
The second
I
one's
think
the
it's much
first
more
one, but
successful to
worse. The second
Yeah.
one's the first one, but
it's
worse.
never and I even and it's funny because like I still think that personally I think that movie actually upon a rewatch is pretty good, but you're never going to reach the heights of the first movie in a million years.
I like RoboCop 2 more after seeing RoboCop 3.
Maybe it's,
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's gonna help,
you know,
yeah.
maybe
not that
it's
bad.
just clear that this one-off movie was not made to be turned into an IP.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
It's clear that like it's not successful in doing that at all.
No. It didn't
I-
need a sequel.
Well, and I
it didn't
think
need a third one,
especially
it
in
didn't
the
need a
way
TV
that
show.
they do, like they just don't even want to try. Like they don't even seem to want to try to do anything different. Like
Right,
to try
yeah.
and progress anything. Like they just like no, we can't. We gotta go back and do the same
I'm
exact
not
thing.
sure what they could have done. Like I don't think any of us are.
They
sitting
could give
here
him a
being
jetpack.
like,
Which hey,
right, to
that
sell
on
it-
paper, I'm like, that's fun. But like on top of everything else,
You know what's
maybe
funny?
not.
Like the jetpack to me felt like, I mean, it feels like, you know,
It's
I'm
a toy
buying
seller.
a toy.
Yeah.
But like it feels like Turbo Man or something.
Right. It feels superhero-y, almost like we said.
I said that in the first movie, but I feel this is an origin story.
I have a follow-up to that comment with the remake. I'm excited to
I actually let's just breeze through this turn so we can talk about the remake, because I actually have a lot more to say about the remake, because this one to me was the point where I was like Delta City again. OCP
We are just
again.
we are retreading.
I am so
well-worn.
bored
So did
by
you
this.
like this like Japanese company? Like, did that
okay, so
kinda
first off,
add
that
anything for
actor
you?
is his name is Mako or Mako. I don't know how to pronounce his name right. He's the original voice of Splinter from the Terminator, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon from the 80s.
really?
That was the Japanese businessman. I thought that stuff was actually the most interesting stuff in the movie. Was
'Cause it's different.
Where we sold
See, I
this
was like-
land rights to a Japanese company. They're kind of pushing Delta City forward. They're foreign investors. They have these ninja robots, which actually get a couple of cool scenes. I wish there was more of them. They were done better. I like that concept. I think there's interesting ideas here. I just don't think anything comes to fruition. It just feels like a big wet fart and nothing. It
Even
just
the
feels like a
robots,
nothing.
like I kept forgetting about him.
Yeah,
Until
and
like
then
he
they would
shows
show
up
up-
at the last like 40 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, this dude. I forgot they
And
mentioned
then
him.
like I thought it was interesting, like the you know that character like bows to RoboCop.
I did,
And
that's
was
the thing.
like,
Right.
like,
Like,
what?
what's the progression there? Like,
Right.
what he wanted to do this, and he's like, oh, RoboCop, you
now
won.
you,
Yeah, like,
you're
I
a
shouldn't do the
val-
voice.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's, sorry.
Cut that part out. Oh my god, I can't believe
We can do the German voice though. No. The other guy who's, by the way, like it is
we
funny.
want you to lead OCP now.
Oh my
I did.
God.
I kind of. There were some moments with the British OCP leader where I was like, "That's kind of interesting," but then they don't go anywhere. He's again just a Nazi.
I like this idea that like, okay, there's like this like Nazi type character that's like in OCP that like it's superseding his power and like going over the company's head again. Like a cool commentary, no bite. Again,
Right.
it really everything that makes that first RoboCop such a movie. Like
it's all
missing a lot
gone.
of
It really is.
I
yeah.
feel like I like the scientist defectors. I feel like that's something they don't really get until 2, where like the scientists seem to be pretty pro RoboCop, and I like how the cops are again pro RoboCop and they're helping him out again. That's cool, and they kind of reuse that in the remake. Now, again, not to get ahead, but like I like the idea of like the scientists are more empathetic as characters. And yeah, in this she ends up
I
being
love
like
that
a
she is.
defector.
By the way, her name. Dr. Lazarus.
Right.
Can we go a
Lazarus.
little bit more on the nose if you
Lazarus.
guys want to? That'd be. And it is funny, like seeing
It
this.
did feel like a DC kind of like,
yeah,
like,
but it
yeah.
just was so
Like
on
the
nose.
Lazarus
Well, and
pit
it's
or
also
something
funny
like
to
that.
me, too.
Because my mind goes right to that Lazarus pit in Arkham City.
Yeah, and I don't like. There's some even parts of the sets where I'm like, that looks more expensive, but also less expensive at the same. What are you
I
guys
will admit,
doing?
I like the Ed 209, like physically, like how she, you know, it's there.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
she like moves it. I'm like, because I don't. We never really see. We see RoboCop fight Ed 209 in the second one, but like it's not. It does like this. That physical version feels much better in 3. Like I know it's not moving as much, but
Yeah.
I was like, it was cool to see them like interact with it a bit differently and them do that effect differently. But yeah, like. I actually like I watched this last Sunday, and you know we're getting into the weekend here to record, and I'm like, fuck, I hope I don't forget this movie.
I
'Cause
forgot
it
a
is
lot of
just
this. It's so much of it's
forgettable.
forgettable. I'm looking at my notes.
It's pretty long too. That's
Yeah,
it's like
it's-
it's close to 2 hours.
It should have been a
which does-
solid hour and
and a half,
20.
easy.
Like,
yeah,
this is like a TV movie of the week. You could have trimmed this down. It could have been a snappy little piece of shit and whatever, but it's like kind of a long piece of shit. It's boring. I don't like all the time that RoboCop is down. I got one genuine laugh though, and I want to point this out because I legitimately think there's one joke in this that might be one of my favorite jokes in any RoboCop movie.
All right, I love it. Let's hear
It's when the guy commits suicide, and he's just like, she's on the phone. He's like, "How much money did you lose? It could be that much." And he opens the window and just jumps out, and then later he goes, "You're fired," and then he just like walks away. He goes,
Again, that character, I
yeah.
feel like they just throw him
He's
out
like,
too.
I
Like
got
out of
a gun.
he goes,
yeah.
"Oh, I would go out easier," and
Yeah.
then like he gets fired, and you just hear a gunshot off camera. I'm like,
Okay, pretty good, yeah.
right,
Yeah,
all
right.
right.
Again,
You
there's
got me with one joke, RoboCop 3.
There's
I
some
legitimately
glimpses there
laughed
for
at
me.
that.
Yeah.
If that was handled in like the first movie, like, oh, the company's failing, and a guy's jumping out the window.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Some of that was kind of funny. Like, I'm trying to look for more positive. So much has been said negative about this movie. It's a piece of shit movie, but like, I'm trying to like just look for things that I'm like, that wasn't as
well.
bad
And again,
as it
I
could
want to
have
stress
been.
for me, anyways, that it wasn't nearly as bad as I feel like I was expecting.
No,
so
I
maybe
agree with
that
that.
also colors my view of it to where like
I agree with
I
that.
wasn't sitting there like dreading my entire time with it. I was like, there was a few moments where I laughed, but for the most part, I was like, this feels toothless. This feels bloodless.
I rolled my eyes a lot.
I
at
rolled
it.
my eyes
Well,
here
we'll
and there
get
for
to
sure.
eye rolling in the remake, but like there's like at one point he's like, she said no, maybe you have a hearing problem, and then shot. I'm like, these lines are terrible, and
They are
his
so-
voice is not RoboCop's voice.
No,
Like
no.
he just doesn't
Just innate.
have it.
It's just, and I just don't. And I think it's the innateness that it's not Peter Weller. Like
It's so
I think if you
obvious
put
that it's not
anyone
Peter
else
And they
into that,
knock him out so much in the movie. Like he's
They
just
do,
like,
yeah.
he's out of
They do,
commission.
yeah. He's out of
Now,
commission,
Like, and
yeah.
it's like, guys, the movie's called RoboCop for a fucking reason. RoboCop is like set dressing in this.
and he feels
I
so
had the
much
same
more
problem with
durable in the
second
first
one,
movie.
though.
Yeah.
In the second movie, they take him out for like 30 minutes as well.
Right.
In this one, like they redo that scene where like he's shut down and the thing of beep beep, and people are like, "Oh, we'll rebuild him even better." And I'm
Right.
like, can you stop retreading the first movie? Also, I started off this podcast by saying they got the "I'd buy that for $1" line wrong in this and in the remake. In this one, it's "I'll buy that for $1." It's a different actor when they cut to it. I'm like, that sucks. You shouldn't have done it at all.
So the original line is
I'd buy that for $1. And in this, he says, "I'll buy that for $1." And I'm like, how could you get that wrong?
Right.
Maybe they did it on purpose.
I don't
like.
I know they definitely did it on purpose, obviously in the
Yeah, and
reboot.
I-
but like,
well,
yeah, And
I almost turned the movie off when he said that one line.
that didn't offend me that much. But I'm excited to get into it on that one.
I
Yeah.
have much more to say about
I
the
think
remake.
the last thing I want to say on 3 is like the new branch of the OCP that's like, you know, kicking people out of Detroit, and like I just didn't. I kind of liked it. I like seeing the FAMAS, very 90s
The
rifle.
FAMAS.
Yeah,
I love.
I'm like, oh, there's a FAMAS, sick. Like, but like ultimately, like I'm like, you know, there's like there's like this peacekeeping company force, and then there's like the cops. I'm
well,
like,
like the peacekeeping, they're called the rehab officers,
Right.
where they're just going out in the street and shooting people, and I'm kind
just
of like,
take them out.
that's
Like, what's going
kind
on?
of clever, but also
Again,
like,
on the nose, a
it
little.
doesn't
like,
really. If in the hands of a better director, something like that, I think, could have been a really biting social commentary. And here it's just kind of, meh.
Right.
This whole movie is just. I regret watching it, and I will literally never watch it again.
See, I don't regret watching it because I liked.
Okay.
At least on the way of like.
Will you ever watch this again?
No, but like,
I think these reviews are a good experiment for like getting in front of films you might not normally watch.
I would have never watched this otherwise. I
but-
thought I had seen this. I'm like, I guess I never sat
But
down.
like,
I never did.
I'm never gonna watch this again. For
well,
sure.
and I just think it's fun to experience even the bad things for me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I played an awful. Have you heard of Mind's Eye?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
One of the worst games ever
Yep.
created, I think. But I was like, you know what? For posterity, it was $10, and I've
check
got
it
it
out.
used. I'm buying it,
But
and I'm going to play through
sometimes
it.
things
And
again are
it's,
so bad they're good, right? Like
Right.
there's so many movies. One of my favorite movies. This is such a cliche, and I'm sorry. This is like the biggest cliche in the world. I love The Room. I've seen
No,
The
of
Room
course,
a million
yeah.
times. I can quote it. It's legitimately one of my favorite movies to watch. It's a terrible piece of shit, but I have a great time with it. I wanted to go into RoboCop 3 going like, I'm going to laugh at this.
Right.
And I didn't.
Right.
And I was kind of just bored by it, and I was like, this feels so unnecessary. It feels so lame. I just don't. I wish I wasn't watching it. I wish I was doing something else with my life. That's how I felt about RoboCop.
Let's
enough. No, I love
remind you, Evan. You did a podcast all about watching really bad films.
Yes, I know, and I still watch really bad films. But I want to watch.
But
if
I
I'm
know
gonna-
what I know what you're saying. You
If I
want
wanna watch a
something
really
that's
bad film, I want to have something that I like. I can really get something out of. I got nothing out of this
because
other than-
there's that film that is just so fine it's meh, like that you don't have anything
That's
to say
the
about.
problem. Like,
and that's
it didn't come around to be something that was like.
And that's kind of
interesting.
I feel like the remake is a better film than 3.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But also, like, I have not that I have nothing to say about the remake, but the remake kind of like, it's interesting. They're both in like the same category. Like, I'm not going to review remake.
Can we
yet.
transition into the remake? Do we have
No,
anything
we're
else
gonna-
to
so
say?
we're gonna
Okay,
cut,
gotcha,
and then we'll
gotcha,
do a
okay,
full
gotcha,
restart.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, like,
because I like.
And I'm gonna we'll finish up here.
Right,
and
right,
we'll
right.
do-
RoboCop
yeah.
3, I think, is like a mid-tier flick.
Yeah, I would agree with you because if it's like a low tier, like it, and I for me it wasn't like this unwatchable piece of shit mess.
No, it's
I
not.
was just bored.
Yeah.
So like that to me, it's a flick, mid tier at the lowest. Yeah, I'd go mid tier flick.
It's living somewhere between low tier flick and mid tier flick for me.
So the problem is I will probably put remake at high-tier flick. So that's the
I will
separator.
also-
We're getting way ahead of ourselves here. We can't do that right now.
I
Don't
feel like
give our reviews for the new one. Come on.
I just feel like going from RoboCop 3 to the remake back to back, like, are the two extreme ends of like a bad movie spectrum. Where it's like you have something that's like, I'm gonna go way off in left field and do something else, and it doesn't really land. And you have something that's like, I'm gonna retread the same water, and it doesn't.
We're
really
gonna make
land.
a third film for a movie that didn't really need a second one.
The first film
Well, it just isn't even progressing.
no, and this
Right,
is my
yeah,
problem with the RoboCop series overall. Like, it never needed a sequel. It never needed a remake. It never needed a TV show. It never needed action figures. This really should have just been one really fucking great social satire made in 1987. And that to me is kind of what it is. 2, 3, and the remake and the TV show and the comics are so disconnected from that. It's hard for me to even call this RoboCop.
Sure.
That's going to be the clip.
There you go.
And I think on that note, let's hear some fun facts.
I like
Yeah,
it.
give me the, is there anything fun about this movie? Yes, there is.
Well, you decide
some
after
fun.
these facts.
There's some. Let's hear the facts.
So-
I'll decide if they're fun.
Excuse me.
I'll be
the judge of that.
I'll be the
Fun
judge
facts.
of the fun
I think they're
news.
okay at best, maybe fun.
These are meth.
They're
facts.
mad facts. So, contrary to popular belief, as we mentioned earlier, Peter Weller was actually interested in
Yes.
reprising this role, reprising Murphy.
Well, that's
for
good.
this
That's
film.
good to hear.
He actually visited director Fred Decker personally. They spent a good half hour talking together, in which he told him that he wanted to do it, but he had the conflict, as mentioned earlier, with David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch.
Do you watch that interview with Peter Weller where he was talking about it? Because like Naked Lunch was a book, and he said the book had like such a profound impact. I don't know much about Naked Lunch.
He
I know
seems like a really intelligent.
he is, and he's like this
thoughtful
is a
guy.
character, and this is a story I've wanted to be a part of. And the fact that Cronenberg was doing this, he was like, I really want to be a part of that. And it is nice to hear that Peter Weller wasn't like, I'm above being
Right,
in
no.
RoboCop 3.
Right, yeah. I'm done.
Yeah,
This is shit.
this is shit. I read this script and I'm
Right.
out of here. Like, that's not what he did. He went, guys, I would do this, but like, there's my passion project.
And I
that
wanna do this.
I have the
Yeah.
ability to do with the director that I love, a story that I love. I'm going to go do that. And I respect the hell out of Peter Weller for both of those things.
I agree. And it's funny, I follow him on Instagram and stuff too. Again, he feels like a real thespian, if you will, for lack of better. Like he has a doctorate.
Is he really? That's
I think
cool.
so. And
That's
like
really
he
cool.
does lectures and stuff too. But he seems like a very interesting guy.
But again, the fact that Peter Weller would take a movie called RoboCop and like what that first movie is, how elevated it really is, like there's a lot going for that first movie that is so missing from this. But
Right.
the fact that Peter Weller was still like, listen, man, I'm an actor and I have a character, and if this character is gonna fire on a fucking jetpack, I'll do it.
And
Like,
I'm sure,
I just can't with this
and I'm
other
wondering how
schedule.
much like RoboCop helped, like the first one specifically.
I'm sure that
I'm
helped
sure that
really
helped his
launch his
career
career.
majorly.
Yeah.
So
And he's a fantastic.
he's amazing.
in
He's
both
amazing.
those
So
first movies.
the RoboCop suit worn in the movie was originally built for RoboCop 2 in 1990. Since Robert John Burke had a longer neck and larger neck than Peter Weller, he complained a lot about wearing it because it was painful, around his
Yeah.
neck. It was just,
That might be
clasping.
why they take the mask off so much in this.
Yeah, maybe, but no, so I think it's like the collar.
Oh,
of the suit.
like the actual.
Yeah, so I don't think it's actually the mask
Michael
itself.
Keaton Batman turn.
Yeah, exactly. So because RoboCop 2 had performed much less admirably than the box office of the first one, the budget of the third was scaled down significantly.
It shows.
The production could not afford many new props, so
shows.
many were recycled from RoboCop, as well as the suits. Since Weller could not be reprising his role as Murphy, the actor had to, fit
Could you
that suit.
imagine if we did like another Iron Man where he had the same exact suit? That's like unfathomable.
I think in the
Yeah.
second one he has the same suit, doesn't he? He
Well, you
just
got-
has like a triangle instead.
Well, listen,
I
you
mean,
just
so
got
does
you
he.
just got
No,
to you got to paint him black.
It's a different Mark suit.
Right.
In
Exactly.
Spider-Man, they continue it, I guess. Besides the black suit,
Yeah.
It's the
Speaking
same
of
suit.
Spider-Man, the one actor, is the general that gets blown up by the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1.
Yes.
Who's like, we're gonna take the contract to Quest, we're gonna give it to them. Is in RoboCop 3 as well, and I was surprised to see him in that. So that was another weird actor show up in RoboCop 3.
Again, just another
what a
weird
pull.
cameo. I love it.
There was a lot of just like weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
So one of the downsides to recycling some of the RoboCop suits from previous movies was that most of them had been damaged during that production. Special effects designer Rob Bottin was able to fix them, but the repair material would often add an additional 10 to 15 pounds to the already heavy suit. But Bottin credited Robert John Burke for not really complaining about it until the end of production. Guy was a trooper, apparently. I think he genuinely, he just kind of
Again,
had to
I'm
go
not
through it.
mad at Robert John Burke. I feel like he did the best he could in the situation that he had. The suit looks bulky on him. He's
does.
it's wearing him. He's not wearing it.
Right.
Again, though, I want to go back to he has a couple moments where he's on the ground. There's one where he's on the ground where he's like, like this. I'm like, oh, he can do the
he
robotic
had mind
movement.
training
Yeah.
apparently too before this. That was another
see
reason they
that.
hired him. So
it's more just like he didn't really get the movements. Like his arms kind of like, I don't know.
Again,
it wasn't right. You could just tell.
for me, it just comes back to innately. I don't think I could even get over the hump that it just wasn't him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's hard for my brain to even give him a full shot off that.
I'm trying to think of like a recast that's kind of similar, but I actually
It's tough because, like, I mean, imagine if they
Batman, because it's a suit with like, you know. just
no,
whatever that
but like
looks.
something that was so not what it was before that like. I mean, I don't know. Say what you want about Clooney, but like, it doesn't like really bother me about the Batman recast from Keaton to Kilmer to.
Well, and I think that's just been
Clooney.
so established at
Yeah.
this point. And again,
Right,
I think,
but like, it's like, you know, we're replacing like,
I am surprised they showed his face as much as they did.
I'm not, because I think that the suit he didn't really own the suit in that way.
Sure.
I also just think that like, if he played the same role the same way and the movie was fantastic, would we be complaining as much? Like, or like, if this was like a fantastic film, like RoboCop 3 is like the best of the series, but it doesn't have Peter Weller.
Right.
Like, would we be like, it takes me so far out of it? Like, the fact that it's a bad piece of shit movie and it's a recasted RoboCop, like those two things together are like the perfect storm.
Right. No, I agree. So initially scheduled for release in mid-1992, RoboCop 3 languished until the following year as Orion Pictures went through bankruptcy and was bought out. Since Columbia TriStar Entertainment owned the international distribution rights to the film, a completed work print was theatrically released in Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines during that time. After the buyout, Orion Pictures, I should say, announced that it would finally release the film July 16th of 1933.
Did you hear about the video game as well? The RoboCop 3 video game?
No, I did.
So
actually,
so the fact that Lewis dies in this movie was spoiled by a video game.
Oh, I did see
on
that
the
actually.
PC
Yeah.
That like came out because again the movie was delayed so much because of Orion Pictures going
Right.
under.
Yeah.
So like a
I
video
did
game
read
came
that,
out
yeah.
where it like spoiled that like Lewis dies in the video game, so everyone knew that going into the movie.
I feel like I'm trying to
Episode
think of,
3, I think, was the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
it was
there's a
like-
lot of stuff. Well, that also
when things
the
are
famous
delayed
thing
and there's
of-
toys and
I know the famous
Yes.
thing with episode 1 is there's just a title song says Qui-Gon's death or something
Yes,
like
yep,
that.
yep,
Like
yep,
wrote it,
yep,
but
on the
that's so
soundtrack.
funny.
There's a lot of those, like the Lord of the Rings. Obviously, Lord of the Rings was
Yeah.
a book, but like that Lord of the Rings Return of the King game came out first, and people like got a glimpse of like what Mount Doom was going to look like and
Right.
everything at like the end
Yeah.
of the movie. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're going through set pieces that like the movie's not out yet, but we're all playing
Yeah,
the
we can
game.
see-
It's like we can kind of see what these set pieces will look like.
I'm sure the issues between a movie releasing and a licensed game, I'm sure this was like a common problem.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, they had a scheduled release date, or maybe the game comes out late,
or the
comes out
novelization a lot of
early.
time. Like the Spider-Man 3 novelization came out before Spider-Man 3,
Right.
and that got spoiled. And the Spider-Man 3 novelization is way better than Spider-Man 3,
I-
which
I-
is
I don't
really
have a hard
weird.
time believing that.
Which is like really weird just because the way Spider-Man 3 is just so weird. But like,
It's so disjointed.
but like it works as a book, and like the book is really good. So
That's funny.
It like there's a lot of instances of this happening, but the fact that it was delayed as long as it was, because I
Just
think the
didn't help.
game
I
came
think it
out
made
in
it
like
wor-
91, and
I think
the
you're
movie came
right.
out in
Yeah,
93.
or even 92.
Yeah,
So like
so-
you had like a full year at least out.
Right. So a lot of people are like, oh, Lewis is gonna die in this movie.
So, speaking of Lewis, there was a rumor, I should say, that Nancy Allen only agreed to reprise her role as Lewis if her character were to be killed off halfway through the movie.
come on.
Allen herself would confirm later on Twitter that this wasn't her decision, because of her terrible experiences on RoboCop 2 and feeling very quote unquote grounded by its director Irvin Kershner, she felt it was right to at least go back and finish out the
So
movie.
I looked up to see like, you know, what else she was in. She like kind of stopped acting like in like 2003.
Interesting.
Like, very like lives like a normal life. I'm like, good for her.
I don't think she's bad. I actually like her a lot in the first 2 RoboCop
I do
movies.
too.
Yeah,
actually
I
think
really
she's-
like her character. I find it really compelling. And when we get to the
Yeah.
remake, honestly, I was really annoyed
Yeah.
that it was like
the guy
a
from
guy.
The Shield.
Yeah. Like I
yeah.
felt like that. I feel like the female partner with Robo, like it just. I think it really just kind of worked.
Yeah. I'm
There's-
excited to talk about this reboot.
I-
'Cause I
yeah.
don't think I'm nearly as negative as you
I'm
guys
not.
are.
I'm not actually very. We'll get to.
Oh, no,
we'll-
sure,
we'll-
that's
I'm
it.
not
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah,
I want to make one more point about Lewis. I want to make one more point about Lewis.
Sorry.
Her hair.
Really funny.
I mean, I shouldn't talk about
So one more point about Lewis is I like Nancy Allen quite a bit. I think she's really good in the first two. In this one, I feel like it was bad direction. Her death scene was lame. She really wasn't good. I don't put that on her. I think she had no direction. You can have the best actor in the world with a bad director equals bad performance.
I completely agree with you.
A consistent thing that like happens all the time. I feel like when she's like, Murphy, get them for me, and I'm like,
and then they call back to that. I'm like,
yeah, he like pulls it back up, and it's like I
remember when she said that. Yeah. What's the woman? HH. What's her name again?
CCH Pounder.
Her death is insane too.
Yes.
If you see, she's like, go. And then she like throws herself.
She's like.
Yeah.
Like, she's like a good actress.
I know. Yeah, it's like you guys don't want to do one more take.
I know. Like, this is what's so annoying when you have a bad director. I don't know
what else does he do?
I don't.
I actually
Decker. I don't know.
Listen, I don't necessarily want to. After reading, at least researching this, I don't necessarily feel like I want to put it all at his feet.
There's more Frank Miller. Everything that's wrong with RoboCop 2 and 3
is Frank Miller's fault. Frank Miller.
Well, but and even like the Frank Miller stuff again. When we talk about that, I'm like, I don't know how much of that is actually like still left over from the script or taken up by the studio. I think the studio really at this point was so heavily involved.
Why don't we phone Frank Miller right now, man?
Yeah, my good friend Frank Miller.
Yo, Frank.
Yeah.
No,
we didn't read the comic either. I wanted to.
No, I couldn't. I tried to track down like a physical copy of it. I couldn't find it, and I just
I'm sure this movie is tough to find outside.
Oh no, I meant the comic.
Yeah, we were
but
talking about the comic.
But I'm also sure that this movie is tough to track down.
Do you have it physically?
No, I didn't buy it physically.
I wanted to mention.
I was gonna buy the reboot physically, but it was free on Amazon anyway, so I was like,
the fact that this was free on YouTube with ads was such a blessing. I was like,
was it?
Yeah, this was free on YouTube. This and the remake were both free on YouTube.
Oh, they were free on Amazon too.
I usually try to remember to like say where.
So I was like, yeah, YouTube free.
I watch everything on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first two on the 4Ks, and then I watched this one on DVD.
I own the first one. I rented the second one on Prime. I don't have Prime, so I just rented it for $4.
Gotcha.
I watched 3 and 4 on YouTube for free with ads.
That's awesome.
And the fact that I didn't pay for RoboCop 3, really, how mad could I really be?
If it makes you feel a little bit better, right?
You
didn't want to watch it, but at least
I lost time.
and
valuable time
money
that I don't have.
Right.
I'm an old man now. How much time on this earth do I have left? And I don't want to spend it watching RoboCop 3.
You have been sentenced to 30 years of watching RoboCop 3 for your penalty.
Did Julie watch that with you? I hope
No,
not.
Julie only watched the first one with me. And I was like, so I'm going to watch RoboCop 2. She's like, I'm good. I'm like, that's fair.
Understandable. Yeah.
She's like, I don't really need it.
It's good. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, she didn't want to watch 2. I'm not going to make her watch RoboCop 3.
If I was in that situation, I'd be like, watch 1, don't watch the rest.
Yeah.
That is the overall review of the series.
I agree.
Just watch the first one.
Yeah.
Just watch the first one.
What other fun do we have?
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it, man.
This movie's a big wet fart. Don't watch it. That's kind of it.
It's boring. Just like boring.
It's boring.
That's really mostly it.
I think you would. I would say, if you're watching the RoboCop movies, you gotta finish it up strong. But like,
I wouldn't even watch past 1. Honestly, like,
it's kind of like if you want to be efficient, watch it,
just watch it
and then be like, okay, like, I don't know, come to the same conclusion that everyone else is coming to, but at least you kind of watched it.
Yeah.
Right?
I will never watch 3 again. I will probably watch 2 again at some point.
I probably won't watch 2 again.
I just overall, I am glad though that I at least can say now that I saw this and know what happened.
1, 2, 3. It's nice.
Exactly.
The remake is gonna obviously it can only be like 2 places. Well, maybe not. But anyway,
guys. No, okay.
You'll have to tune in next week to find out about the RoboCop remake.
Wait. No.
I got so much more to say on RoboCop 3.
We usually stream our podcast live on twitch.tv/Delco Network and sometimes youtube.com/Delco Network, where you can find the video version of this podcast as well as the audio version on your favorite podcast app of choice. So search Delco Network, and you should be able to find us quite easily. We're on facebook.com/Delco Network, as well as everywhere with the @ at Delco Nerds, and all of this information can be found on our website at www.delconerdnetwork.com, and you can also find us our email there, delconerds@gmail.com, and you can email us question, concerns, things for the good of the group. We'd love to hear from you. For Trio, for Evan, my name is Anthony Ragucci. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the remake.